So I'm going to be making a tuna fish recipe today. First though, I need to make quinoa, because that goes in it, and it's supposed to be cooked. I use this pot for beans, and so I figured quinoa is pretty similar to beans, so it would make sense to make it in here. Alright. I'm worried it's going to take a while to boil the water, but I don't need that much quinoa. Of course, I can't measure. I don't know how much a cup is going to be. Probably need more than this, though. Yeah, I'll just add some more. Oh gosh. It does that when it's wet. Okay. It's this extra quinoa, I'll just eat it myself. So, let's see. Yeah, it's angry. Okay. I don't want to use my pancake thing because of conflicting tastes. Oh, look here. I washed this one away when I first started washing things, and I haven't used it for anything. So this will be good. And I needed a bowl. I didn't want to use that one because I used that one for pancakes. So, perfect. I've got so much stuff here, it's great. So the first thing you do for this recipe, which I didn't write down because I can't measure it, and it's going to be kind of improvised. You need a can of tuna, which I learned is supposed to be a relatively cheap way of getting protein. I hadn't thought of it that way before, but apparently it's the case, and I like tuna a lot, so it was good to hear that. I always thought it was not exactly a luxury food, but relatively expensive. You're probably supposed to drain this extra stuff. So that's what I'll do. If it matters too much, and you just kind of add it like this. Well, I didn't drain it very well at all, but whatever. Oh, I need a spoon to get the rest out. Yeah, tuna's really good. That was really exciting to learn that it's not expensive. Who would have thought? Because, I mean, tuna's going extinct, or at least the fisheries are collapsing, so you'd think it would be expensive, but apparently not. So that's, I guess, good and bad news, because I don't think it really should be that way, but it is. Let's see. I also wanted to make sure I had enough flour left to make another batch of pancakes if I don't find anything good in the garbage tonight. And I don't know how much is left. It's going to be enough. Oh yeah, it should be enough. More. I'll just put it right in here. So, yeah, that's about one batch of pancakes. Now, the only issue is that recipes I saw usually ask for a bit of flour or else breadcrumbs, so I'm just going to put in, like, you need it to, like, thicken it. And they use all sorts of, like, squash and onions and fancy things that I don't have, so it's probably not going to be the right consistency. Alright, I guess this is hot now. Oh, that's couscous. I found some couscous also. They have all sorts of weird things that expired a long time ago, which, of course, being dry goods, they probably have a good year or so after you buy them before they expire. So, they're quite old. That's the take-home message. Alright. So, hopefully this works out okay. And the other important ingredient is an egg. And I guess you just start mixing it now. Well, I guess you put the quinoa in first. I just want to get this ready so I can start cooking it immediately, because there's going to be a bottleneck here. I did a recipe like this at home once, but Ma was helping with it, so I didn't film. It wasn't the same recipe, though. We didn't use quinoa. I don't remember what we used, but it was the same, like, tuna fried in a pan kind of a thing. Here's my little spoon. There it is. This is good for... Alright, so I'm going to wait for the quinoa before I do anything else, but there's another thing I was planning on doing, since it's good to do multiple things while you're in the kitchen. And that's cut off another section of this watermelon, which I'm trying to eat myself. It's difficult, but if you really try, you can eat an entire watermelon on your own. I guess. I mean, I haven't finished it yet. It could be rotten right now, for all I know. But it should be okay. Yeah, it looks okay. And so I just cut. Well, of course, it's rather difficult to do, but it's not the most stable place to have a camera on a sort of ledge as it is. It's a good knife. This is actually better than the other knife, because I have one I found at a campsite. It looked like the better knife, but this one's definitely sharper. It's going right through this watermelon. So that's good. Whoa. I've never actually cut myself while cutting stuff. Or, I mean, I might have gotten like a scrape or something, but I've never gotten like a gash. I've never had a serious cutting injury. I think because I'm quite worried that someday I will do that, so I've been quite careful while cutting things. Okay, so now you just kind of, you hope that you want, you see, you don't, the knife isn't quite long enough to go to the middle, but that's okay. You can always just take that later. And that'll be brought upstairs to, oh yeah, here's the middle that fell off from the last time when I didn't get the middle. It'll come off eventually. You don't have to worry too much. Oh, yeah, the last time I made quinoa, this happened too. It boiled too much. This time, though, it didn't boil over and spill, so I'm getting a little bit better at it. These electric burners, you wouldn't think that 7 or 8 would be that high from how long it takes to make pasta, but then you make something small and it turns out it's enough to make a little pot of quinoa boil over. So the lesson is you have to be very careful. And I guess just come to an understanding eventually, which I haven't done yet, but maybe sometime I will. Okay. It's probably enough watermelon for now. So I'll just put the rest back. And now it doesn't balance right. Whatever. Well, I don't know, it might get dried out if you leave it like that. So let me just get under there and you can't see it. Here, I'll change what I'm doing. And I'll just remove them prematurely for the sake of better storage. So now you can just flip it over and it'll last another day in the fridge, I guess. That's probably, if I don't hurry, that's at least 2 or 3 days left, not counting today, of watermelon to get through, so that might be pushing it. Hopefully not. I just gotta try to see if the quinoa's done. I don't remember exactly how you're supposed to cook it. I don't know how long it takes. It should say on the bag. Oh, you're supposed to simmer it. Whatever. It's too hard still. Okay. I did get the beans down to a simmer yesterday. So, while I wait for that, I will do something. I didn't do a great job getting the water out of the quinoa because it's difficult to do that without losing some of the quinoa, so this might be a little bit on the moist side. So it looks like the quinoa is going to overpower the tuna. Anyway, let's see what this comes out as. I don't want to add too much more flour just because I don't have a lot. But yeah, this is very wet. I don't imagine it's going to stick together too well. Yeah, the quinoa is probably supposed to be drier. And you could say the same about the tuna. All the other ingredients were probably going to be dry too. Although they have such a great spice cabinet here. It called for parsley, so I can borrow some parsley, although of course this is already going to have tuna flavor, so it's not super necessary, but as long as I've got it available, I'll use it because it's going to get, let's see, 2010, gosh. I wonder if oregano or parsley lasts longer. Well, this one doesn't say. But yeah, I imagine that stuff's just going to ferment or gradually lose its potency, whatever herbs do. So I'm doing it a favor by using it. Alright, I'm going to put in a little bit more flour because I'm uneasy about this. Although, while I'm doing that, I'll get this heated up. I usually use 7 for pancakes, and this is different, but I don't know. It should be okay. It said 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. I don't know what the breadcrumb to flour ratio is. I don't know, I could use a whole lot of flour in this. Why not? Also, I don't know if it's supposed to be so chunky. My general sense is no, it's not, which is why I'm breaking them up. Well, I'll see how this turns out. You're supposed to form it into a ball, like in your hands, but I don't fancy getting tuna all over me, and it won't form into a ball anyway, so there's an odd smell coming from this pot, but what can you do? Alright, so I'm just gonna see. I don't know if I should use the spatula or what. I don't want to get tuna on the spatula, but I guess you're supposed to flip it. Although this isn't going to flip, it's not. I'm going to get like an omelet or something. This didn't come together at all. Yeah, I'm going to add more flour. This is hopeless. Probably can't add much more flour without losing the opportunity to make pancakes. Yeah, look, I'm getting a darn omelet. Come on. Okay, well, yeah, I keep adding flour. It's not really helping, so I'm gonna stop. Just resign myself to omelets, which I don't know. It's not gonna be that bad, I guess. So I'll make one batch and then stop filming and I'll finish the other. Oh, I gotta get a plate to put it on. I don't know how long. It's supposed to take about 4 minutes, but that's not accounting for the fact that, yeah, you can't even flip it. It's just not structurally sound. Just kind of, yeah, alright. So it's just going to be a kind of fried tuna thing. Might still taste good, but it's going to be kind of a pain to cook. Doesn't help that this darn burner can't stay upright. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to know when it's done. I'll just run up real quick and get the bowl. Back at home, of course, if I did this, it wasn't a big deal. It took me a few seconds to get to my room. But now, the staircase is bigger. It's this little hallway. And it's just generally a more difficult. I wonder if I should just make a cut and go up to my room and come back. Or just do it if it's not worth it, just to keep filming. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, it's starting to smell like an omelet now. Look at all that extra egg. That's ridiculous. I guess, actually, if it's going to be weird anyway, I just want to use the rest of the quinoa. Or else I'll make ramen and put it in there. Quinoa does go pretty well with ramen. It's a good rice substitute. And we've got the couscous. But actually, I'd rather not dump ramen perfectly good ingredients into a questionable recipe. I feel like one of those halal people who just kind of throw all the ingredients onto the thing, except they know what they're doing. Yeah, I can't say this looks like it's changed at all. It's probably been about 4 minutes. So we will try a bit and see if there's anything to this recipe. It hasn't formed anything. It's still just a collection of ingredients. The egg, I guess, is a little bit cooked, but the rest of it's probably just kind of hot. Yeah, it's just a collection of ingredients. I mean, it's good, but certainly could be better. Good enough, though. Alright, so that's the good thing about some recipes. Even if you mess them up, they're still going to taste pretty good.